I knew what my role was before I even walked into the venue, not officially. No one had ever said it directly, but it had been consistent for years. If something needed covering, I covered it, quietly. Without making it a conversation, the wedding was no different. I had transferred the money weeks earlier. No ceremony around it, no acknowledgement beyond a brief "got it from my brother." That was enough, I told myself. It always had been. The venue was polished. White flowers, soft lighting, the kind of place that looked effortless, because someone had paid to make it that way. I took my seat, nodded to relatives, accepted few comments about how good it was of you to help out. Help out. I didn't correct them. My brother looked happy. That part, at least, felt genuine. His bride stayed close to him, smiling in a way that suggested she believed this was the beginning of something stable. I didn't want to disrupt that. The ceremony passed without issue. Applause, music, the usual sequence of moments that everyone expects. The reception was louder, looser. People had relaxed into it. My father took the microphone during the speeches. He had always been comfortable in front of a room, confident in a way that made people lean in, even when they shouldn't. He started with the usual things. Stories from childhood, small exaggerations that people laughed at because they sounded familiar. Then he shifted. And of course, he said, smiling as he looked toward our table, every family has its unique members. There was a pause, timed for effect. My other son, he continued, he's not married, not educated. A few people chuckled already, anticipating the tone, but at least he's good for a check. The room reacted exactly the way he expected, latter. Open, easy, unfiltered. It wasn't shocking. That was the part that stayed with me. It fit too well. I didn't feel angry right away. I didn't even feel embarrassed in the way I thought I might. It felt like something settling into place, like a sentence that had been forming for years had finally been spoken out loud. I looked around briefly. Some people avoided eye contact. Others didn't. My brother smiled, not fully engaged, but not uncomfortable enough to interrupt. My father was still holding the microphone, waiting for the laughter to taper off so he could continue. That's when I stood. It wasn't sudden. I didn't push my chair back sharply or make a scene. I just stood, walked forward, and held out my hand. He hesitated for half a second, then he gave me the microphone. I didn't rush. I looked at him first, then at the room. You know what? I said, my voice even. You're right. The room quieted faster than I expected. I'm not married, I continued, and I didn't follow the path you wanted. I paused, not for effect, but to make sure I meant what I was about to say. And I guess I've been okay letting that define how I fit into this family. No one moved. So yes, I said, I'm not family. I'm just your wallet. The words didn't echo. They landed. I turned slightly, looking toward my brother and his bride. Her expression had changed, not dramatically, but enough to show she understood something had shifted. Oh, I added, still calm, and that $100,000 wedding gift? A few people shifted in their seats. Forget it. You could feel the room contract. No laughter this time. No reaction that smoothed it over. Just silence. I handed the microphone back. My father didn't take it immediately. When he did, he didn't speak. I returned to my seat, picked up my jacket, and walked out the same way I had come in. No one stopped me. Outside, the air felt cooler than it had earlier. Or maybe I just noticed it more. I didn't check my phone right away. I knew there would be messages. Calls. Attempts to reframe what had just happened into something smaller. I sat in my car for a few minutes before starting the engine, not thinking about what I had said, thinking about what I hadn't. There had been years of moments I could have pointed to, conversations I could have brought up, patterns I could have explained. I hadn't needed to. One sentence had been enough. On the drive home, my phone started lighting up, my brother first, then my mother, then numbers I didn't recognize. I let them ring. By the time I got back, there were messages waiting. Some neutral, some defensive. A few trying to make it sound like a misunderstanding. None of them addressed the part that mattered. I went inside, set my keys down, and sat in the quiet. It didn't feel like a victory. It didn't feel like loss either. Just a correction. Something that should have been adjusted a long time ago, finally put into place. Later, I checked my phone. My brother had sent a longer message. Dad didn't mean it like that. You know how he jokes. This didn't have to become a thing. I read it once, then again. He wasn't wrong. It didn't have to become a thing. It already was one. I set the phone down without replying. The room sat quiet. For the first time, that silence didn't feel like something I needed to fill.